Hey there, I'm Apple Crider from Investing Simple. Today we're providing an in-depth review of the Atom Finance app, and we're going to dive into my phone to give you a full walkthrough of the app and everything that it is capable of. Now, at its core, Atom Finance is a free tool designed to help you make better stock market investing decisions. It's primarily an investment research platform, but also provides a host of additional benefits, including the ability to aggregate all of your investment accounts in one place, see all of those in one place, which is super useful for people like me who have investment accounts spread out over a ton of different apps and a ton of different brokerages. Now, if you're not familiar with Bloomberg, Atom Finance essentially aims to be a free version of Bloomberg that doesn't require thousands of dollars a year just to use the service. Once you link up your various investment accounts, Atom is going to provide you with a curated feed of the news, stories, data, etc. that apply specifically to you and the things that you are invested in. From up-to-date financial statements, valuation metrics, and transcripts from earning calls, you'll be able to keep up with all of the investments that matter to you in one centralized location. Again, this is super useful if you're anything like me and have investment accounts with many different online brokerages. So now let's dive into my phone and I'll give you a full rundown of what this app has to offer. So starting off, this is the homepage right here. And as you can see, the first thing that is listed is the various market indexes and how they are performing on the day. So as you can see, today is a pretty good day in the market. The S&P, the Russell, the Dow, and the NASDAQ are all up on the day. And since it is still during the trading day, you can see those numbers are continuing to change and the graphs are down below. The next thing we'll see is my portfolio, and we'll dive into that in a little bit. Right now, I only have an M1 Finance account synced up, but you can sync up accounts from multiple different online brokerages. Really, any place that you have investments, you can sync up that account securely via Plaid and view it in the Atom Finance app. So we'll get back to portfolio in just a second. This feature I really like. It's called Today's Updates. And essentially what Atom Finance does is they give you 3 different briefings every single day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening. So as you can see, the evening briefing is not ready yet. Let's just dive into the afternoon briefing and see what that looks like. So essentially what we're getting with these briefings is a very condensed version of what's happening in the market right now, the big stories and the things that you should know as an investor if you're someone who's looking to make decisions intraday about different investment opportunities. So as you can see, there's a lot of information here, a lot of different statistics about a lot of different companies, but it is super concise and basically reading through this will take you about 2 minutes, but it'll really get you up to date with what the big stories are that are happening in the market right now. So the morning report will come out right before the market opens, the evening report will come out after the market closes, and then the afternoon report is in the middle of the day. Pretty straightforward, but just by having those 3 reports that are professionally put together for you, it can really set you ahead of a lot of the other traders out there on the market that are having to sift through these giant articles just to find the important pieces of information. Here it is all concisely put together in one place. Additionally, if there are updates on the companies that you're watching or you're holding, those are going to show up right down here. So as you can see, we've got an update on Palantir down here and a couple other updates that we can swipe through. This feature I really like as well. It is a calendar that's going to show you the important events for the companies that you're invested in or that you are following. So as you can see right here, there are going to be little dots underneath the days that have important things going on. Right over here on the 12th of November, we can see that Palantir had their earnings call, which is important if you're a Palantir shareholder. Over here, we've got a presentation from Google that happened on the 17th. So this is a great way to just keep up to date with the companies that matter to you and make sure that you know what is going on with those different companies in terms of important events that you'll need to know about as a shareholder. Again, earnings calls can really change a lot in terms of a company's share price, so you'll want to keep up to date on those. So that's basically your home screen. That's where you're going to get all of your information aggregated. Now, let's move on to the markets screen. So here you're going to see all of the different stocks that you have either invested in or flagged on your account. So right now we can see Amazon, Apple, Facebook, so a lot of different tech stocks. The M1 Finance portfolio that I connected is really only tech stocks, as we'll see once we dive into that. But really what we're looking at here is a lot of different tech stocks. And as you can see, for the most part, they are all doing pretty well, as tech stocks are doing at the moment. The next thing you can do is you can add hubs. So essentially, hubs are different watch lists. So if you want to create a watch list for tech stocks and a watch list for utility stocks and a watch list for stocks that you're thinking about buying, you can do all of that in the hub section. So you can add a new hub, you can name it whatever you want to name it, and then you can just create a new one. So right now I only have one, it's called My Stocks, but you can add as many as you would like. Next, we'll see the trending section. These are stocks that are currently pretty popular with different investors at the moment. So they'll aggregate those for you here, and you can see that there are quite a few. Most of them are trending in the upwards direction, but you can sort through these on any number of metrics. If you want to see their growth metrics, if you want to see their estimated financials. Like you can really see whatever you want. There's a lot of data within Atom Finance. I don't utilize nearly a quarter of all the information that is available on this platform. But if you are someone who is doing a lot of research and you need a lot of data, you can really get so much out of the Atom Finance platform. It's kind of ridiculous. It can be a little bit overwhelming, kind of like drinking from a fire hose. So you might want to just kind of figure out what your core needs are, use it for those, and then over time you can kind of expand into these other features that might be a little bit more beyond kind of what you're looking for. So next we've got top movers. This is kind of similar to trending, but you can see the stocks that have moved up the most in the day and the stocks that moved down the most in the day. That can be effective for you if you're looking to capitalize on some swing trading opportunities. And then lastly, we can see sectors down here. So how different sectors are performing on the day. As you can see, it's a pretty good day in the market. We got a lot of green going on there. So can't complain about that. Now, that's the market screen. Additionally, there's a stock screener involved in Atom Finance. So you can use this screener to screen through thousands of stocks very quickly to come up with a short list of the ones that kind of fit your criteria. So for example, you can choose from a whole host of metrics here. There's dozens and dozens of metrics you can screen from. But let's say we wanted to screen for stocks that had a high beta. Okay, so we could go to beta. We could say beta is greater than 2, okay? And we'll search for stocks that have a beta higher than 2. And then we can add filters on top of that. So we could say we also want to search for a 1-month return of greater than 1%. We can add that filter. And you can kind of just stack these filters on top of each other to find a short list of investments that meet your criteria and align with your particular strategy. So that's the screener, pretty straightforward as far as stock screeners go, but it is nice that there is one included on Atom Finance. Next thing we're looking at is the feed. So with the feed, you've kind of got 3 main sections you can choose from. You've got your following, your top stories, and your macro. Your following is going to feed you stories that apply to the companies that you are following or invested in. So as you can see, we've got Palantir, we've got Apple, and one really cool feature about Atom Finance is that with the stories they give to you, you can see up at the top here, there are the companies that are listed or that are in the story. It's listed right at the top, so you don't have to click into the story and start reading it to figure out if any companies that you are invested in are mentioned. So that's really nice. Top stories, very similar. These are just kind of like the top stories in the market right now, things that are really popping off. And then you've got macro. These are kind of applying to macroeconomic trends, big picture things that are happening in the markets. So that's going to be the feed. Not too much there. It's really just that's where you're going to be getting your stories. Now, this is where we get into the portfolio section. So here we've got your portfolio. And so this is where you can aggregate all of your portfolios into one place. Personally, like I said, I've only connected my M1 Finance portfolio so far, but we'll dive into that just to see some data here. So right off, we can see the total value of the portfolio. We can see the performance on the day. We can see the performance on 2 weeks and versus the S&P 500. You can also switch this to compare to a different relevant index if there's one that's more relevant. So for me, it'd probably be the NASDAQ because this is all tech stuff. But as you can see, 2-week return of about 3% versus the NASDAQ of about 1.37%. Now, we'll scroll down here and we'll be able to see the holdings. And again, this chart kind of just shows the performance over time. Here we're looking at holdings. So like I said, this is a tech stock portfolio, something I threw together a couple of years ago and haven't really thought too much about since, but it's been performing pretty well, to be honest with you. So my biggest holding is Tesla, which I can't complain about that. My cost basis was about $50 a share, so definitely can't complain about that one. But as you can see here, you can see all the different metrics. You can see the gain on the day, total value. You can see the total gain or loss, the gain or loss percentage, how much of your portfolio makes up, etc. So that's all pretty straightforward here. Down here, sector allocation. We've got consumer cyclicals and technology. I guess Tesla and maybe Amazon count as consumer cyclicals. And then asset allocation, obviously all stocks. Now down here, you can see my history of transactions. So every 2 weeks, I just throw more money into this portfolio, as you can see. So every 2 weeks, there is a buying transaction there. So that is all pretty well and good. And so obviously, as you add more different portfolios to this, you'll be able to see more data, see more stocks all in one place, which is really one of the features where I feel like Atom really shines. But yeah, for now, I've only got one portfolio in here, so not all that much to see. Now, last thing we're looking at is chat. So this is a cool feature as well, because with Atom Finance, there's also a social aspect to it. It's not just you looking at your investments. There's also channels that you can join for pretty much every single stock, as well as larger sectors. Okay, so like FANG up here, that stands for Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Those are 5 giant tech companies. there's a channel here where people are talking exclusively about those companies. So you can hop in here, you can see what people are up to. And there's also a Atom bot, which is really cool, that automatically posts in these channels when relevant stories come out that are related to the stock. So as you can see, Apple shares are trading lower, Apple head of security accused of whatever, Biden's top technical advisor. So like as news stories come out that relate to these things, they're being posted in these channels automatically, which is a great way for you to keep up to date with these different things. There's also value stocks, so you can just join these channels and keep up to date with the things that matter to you when it comes to your investments. Now, the last thing that I want to mention while I'm in here is the premium subscription. So as you can see on my homepage, it says your premium trial will end in 27 days. So there is a premium version of Atom Finance. Now let's talk about what is in that versus what you get in the basic plan. So with the premium plan, you're getting kind of some icing on the cake. You know, the core functionality is available to you as a free user. So it's a free service to use. You can use everything you want for free. But if you want the real icing on the cake stuff, like the real fancy stuff, that's where you're going to be paying the $9.99 per month subscription. And so we'll just read through these really quick. So first you've got your breaking news and alerts. So you just kind of get increased levels of alerts and notifications on the different stories that are important to you. Portfolio fund look through, so that's kind of digging deeper into the holdings of your ETFs, etc. Investor documents, so you get increased access to documents and SEC regulations and whatnot. Analyst consensus estimates, so more information from analysts, which can be important to you if you are taking analysts' recommendations into account. Premium metrics, institutional investor holdings. So basically, as you can see, guys, a lot of this stuff is kind of just that icing on the cake. Like I said, you're getting the aggregation features, you're getting the feed, you're getting all of the main stuff for free. But if you do need these extra things, Excel, like exporting your stuff to Excel and really doing some analytics on it, that could be important to you if you're really taking this stuff pretty seriously. X-ray document search to really search through those documents without having to scroll through them, etc. More hubs, sandbox modeling, and chat. So all of this stuff is going to be, you're gonna get full access to it basically with the premium subscription, but with the free subscription, you're gonna get kind of like the light version where you get some of the functionality, but not 100%. So overall, Atom Finance provides a ton of really valuable features to investors, from the information aggregation to getting all your accounts in one place to the curated feed of stuff that's going to apply just to your companies and your investments. It can really save you a ton of time as an investor, because instead of having to go from account to account to account when you're trying to figure out what your net worth is and where your holdings are and figure out your percentages and whatnot, like you can really just see it all in one place, and it's super easy to visualize. Works really well for me as a visual thinker to have everything in one spot. And really for anyone who has investments spread out across multiple different brokerages and is looking for like a simple way to just like view them all, I think you're really gonna find everything you're looking for and more with Atom Finance. Now, if you wanna go even deeper and learn more about Atom Finance and what they have to offer, we have a full in-depth review on our blog, investingsimple.com. The easiest way to find that is to go to Google, type in Atom Finance Review, and click on investingsimple.com. We will see you over there.